though Nerf and Airsoft have their occasional similarities, the two hobbies are very different and highly distinctive from one another, especially when it comes to gameplay styles and the projectiles used for the sport. Every now and again, we'll have a crossover in technology from one hobby into another. We've seen it a lot between Airsoft and Gel Ball, but we haven't really seen it in Nerf. That is until now. I am very excited to review this blaster right here. This is the Zius BK-1S. Now there was a BK-1 model, it's the original, and there was so many improvements over it with this new iteration that the company just decided to phase out the original altogether and just stick with the BK-1S. There is a BK-2S variant, but they also decided to just make that a limited run since there are only minor differences between this one and that one, and the BK-1S has become the standard and the staple product in their lineup. Big shout out to the two Lukes working at Out of Darts. One of them, of course, being Dr. Flux, for reaching out and sending me this amazing blaster that I've been so anticipating reviewing all year long and just had not gotten around to acquiring one. And thanks to the boys over at Out of Darts, they were able to send us one so we can go ahead and check it out and let you know what it's all about. The big seller with the BK-1S is the fact that it uses AEG technology. Now, AEG is an acronym to a term that became popular in the airsoft community. It stands for auto electric gun. This is a very vague term, and what it represents in airsoft is a mechanism that, rather than using the traditional gas blowback mechanical function to send your projectiles downrange, it uses a system of traditional plunger tube and plunger rod with a gearing mechanism where a motor actually compresses the plunger rod and also releases it, resulting in what is essentially a fully automated pump action springer. The cool thing about this technology is you can have full semi-auto, burst fire, and even full auto function while still taking advantage of pump action springer, breech, and barrel system. So think about this as the fusion of everything we love about flywheelers and everything we love about springers coming into one unit. Now you may ask yourself, if this is such a perfect tech, why hasn't it always existed? Well, it hasn't always been cheap to manufacture. This company has found a way to put this together at a very attractive price, and we'll get to that towards the end of the video. But here, my friends, is what I consider to be one of the better products that I've reviewed this year, and you'll find out why. But first, we're gonna find out what we get in the box. Then we're gonna get outside and play with it a little. We're gonna do some tests, and then I'm gonna give my overall lasting impression. What do you say we get right into this? All right, guys, so here we have the box, BK-1S, little outlined techie depiction of the blaster here with BK-1S, powered by T238. We'll get into what that means later. Electric dart blaster, showing the big selling features of this blaster here, such as semi-mode, auto mode, adjustable stock, and electric function. Blaster is gonna slide out of this box in a tray. Pull off this protective foam cover, and you have your blaster. Brings a box of darts. Out of Darts was nice enough to send us a box of 200 worker heavies, which I've been dying to actually run with these darts and try them out because I use standard Gen 3 red and orange. I love how these darts look. I like the fact that they're a bright color. I just like heavy darts. I feel like they're more accurate, and the sacrifice for distance is totally worth it in most cases. We'll be testing with both these and the darts that come with the blaster just to see what the difference in performance is. And of course, you have your magazine here. Now, if there's a downside to this blaster at all, it's definitely going to trickle down to the fact that these mags are not interchangeable with workers or any of the other highly popular mags in the community. And that is a shame because, as we'll notice later in this review, this blaster is actually pretty remarkable, and what it does is pretty incredible. I don't know, it's kind of a shame in a way. You got a jam door right here where you can view your skinny pusher and the feeding of the mag. The feed lips coming right over the pusher there, as you can see. Little details here like the brand name engraved into the inside of this mag door, Zius. That's nice little touches that you could tell they went that extra way just to put a little extra love into the blaster. You do get a standard 200mm barrel with this blaster, which is also an upgrade over the BK-2S, which they discontinued. That makes this blaster shoot a little bit harder and longer. Full topside Picatinny rail for all your accessories. Here is your selector switch. You got safe 1 and 2. Here is your priming handle, and your mag release is on this side. I can reach it pretty comfortably with my right hand. It does seem a little distant, and I only say that because I know that my hands are bigger than average. I can reach it, and it's just at the tip of my index here. You might have to break a little grip if you have a smaller hand, or if you have a larger hand, it'll be pretty straightforward to do. To get to the battery, you just basically unscrew this little collar. That'll allow you to completely remove the stock assembly and have access to your XT30 connector so that you can install your battery. Now, I have a whole bunch of these little longer 11.1 volt 3S batteries with 2000 milliamp. This form factor and size will work whether you have 1100 milliamps all the way to, I guess they make these all the way to 2500 milliamps. Weight doesn't really matter. We're not talking about an RC plane here. We're talking about a blaster. You could put as large a battery as you want in here. Basically, you just connect it, sit the battery inside your stock, and put it together just like that. Make sure your connector has a good purchase. You want to feed the wire into the stock along with the battery, and then all you have to do is fearlessly just thread your stock back on, not worrying that the battery is getting twisted up, because remember, it's loose in there, so it'll allow the cable to readjust as you twist it in. And then you tighten this little ring right here along with the stock, and then you could just adjust to your desired length. I particularly have long arms, so I like to have it almost at the last, if not one of the last tubes, and that is a very comfortable ergonomic right there. I did print out a flared magwell that just slides right on like this. This is made by Scent on Principles. If you want to check that out, I'll put a link in the description. I had this little cheap optic that I got on one of the blasters that I reviewed on this channel, and I did not end up using it on that blaster, so I'm putting that on for good measure. And as for a finishing touch, I did develop a T-card that fits over this muzzle, and it fits directly in front of the 16mm barrel, just like that. So we have our little P-car unit to provide a little accuracy. I also fitted this stubby AFG, originally designed for the Caliburn / Talon Claw blaster. I just always particularly like this design. I modified it to fit this slimmer rail. I'll put the files for free up on Printables and Thingiverse and Maker's World. Man, there's so many of these now. I think there's even one that I'm missing for the Ender series or Creality. I'll put the files up on any of those free sites. It's basically just a remix of Captain Slug's foregrip for those platforms, allowing you to use it for these Picatinis that are oftentimes slimmer than what the Caliburn uses. That gives us a nice little cosmetic facelift. I can't wait to show you guys what this thing can do. So without wasting any further time, let's get right into it. All right, guys, blaster operation is very simple. After you have your battery inserted, you're gonna move the selector to number 1, click the trigger once. It wasn't supposed to do that. When you're starting the blaster from a complete off position, which I still haven't figured out how to do it. I've tried to do it once, but it didn't work out. It'll beep 3 times if you have a 3S battery. It'll beep 2 times if you have a 2S battery, basically indicating that the blaster has booted up and it's ready to roll now. It has a secondary function as well, which is double shot in the semi position when you hold down the trigger. I think it's on that setting now. If you hold down the trigger for 10 seconds, it'll get back to semi one-shot mode. There you go, just 1 shot. We're gonna take a couple of shots at the target, then we're gonna check 2 shot, then we're gonna check full auto, just for fun, just like a little plinking exercise. Let's go. I'm gonna check out the 2 shot burst now. I'm gonna have to fire one in order to activate it. Out of ammo already? Wow. All right, movie magic. We got a quick mag reload. We're gonna try that 2 shot burst now. My goodness, this thing is just an animal. I'm not even using the sight. This thing is just lasers. All right, movie magic, our last clip. We're gonna try a full auto dump. Let's go, guys. Sick. What an exciting little blaster to play around with all day. Just can't get enough of it. It's a shame that Hasbro dropped this technology early on with the Vulcan and the Stampede days. They had a couple of offerings, such as the Dart Tag and the Power Bell series blasters, but something with sealed breech like this, man, this is the sauce right now. So in resume, what makes this blaster shine is that it not only uses Airsoft AEG technology, but it uses one of the better components revered, a MOSFET. And not just any MOSFET, it uses the T238 MOSFET. It's one of the best in its category. It's considered one of the more formidable upgrades you could do to your airsoft rifle, but it comes stock in the BK-1S. As you guys were able to see with the performance tests, this blaster is surgical with its accuracy. A little bit of trade-off between speeds and accuracy. The Worker HEs perform a little bit better accuracy-wise. They had a lot of energy with the T-Car off, but they retained a lot of that energy and accuracy once the T-Car went on. We're looking at a drop of only average of 10 FPS, and you still have that sensor focus accuracy. I knew I was gonna like Worker Heavies. I just hadn't tried them out yet. Again, shout outs to Dr. Flux for sending those in. You guys can begin to see why this is a special blaster. Now, normally a blaster like this would carry a price tag upwards of $250 or more. At least in the airsoft category, rifles that carry this kind of tech and internals already upwards of the $250 to $450 range. This blaster has a starting price of $160. In fact, you can pick it up for that much on the Out of Darts website directly. I'm gonna put that link in the description. Every once in a while, Luke will throw you a little promo code and they'll run their little sales campaigns if you're on a really tight budget and you need to wait for a sale. But I was blown away that this blaster was even able to be offered at the price point of $160. I mean, you get a lot of bang for your buck in a Nerf blaster, not an airsoft rifle at this level. All in all, I can't overstate how much I recommend this blaster enough. It has definitely set its own category in the Nerf hobby. Just being able to combine the automation of electrical power with a pump action sealed breech blaster is just incredible. And the fact that it's able to maintain that kind of FPS is even more admirable. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you already own one? Were you thinking about getting one? Let me know down in the comments. I would love to know what the community's thoughts on this kind of technology coming to Nerf. Are you happy about it, or do you like the stark contrast between flywheeler and pump action a little bit more and you don't think a happy medium is necessary? Let me know down in the comments what you think. Appreciate you guys visiting. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one. Stay blasting, foam fam.